Ben Yokoyama had a pretty good life. He lived with his mom and his dad in a house that had 3 ceiling fans, a garbage disposal, and a roof that didn't leak when it rained. He had a dog named Dumbles, who would sometimes fetch a tennis ball and often gave cuddles and licks. His best friend Janet lived in a house just behind his. She had a trampoline, a comfortable blue chair, and a pantry that usually contained marshmallows. Ben had nothing to complain about, so he usually didn't complain. But some days he had to, because some days his mom burned the pancakes. "Sorry, Ben," said Ben's mom, setting a plate full of scorched, food-like slabs on the table. "They're a little bit crispy." It was not an accurate description. Potato chips were crispy. Fried chicken was crispy. The pancakes were a charbroiled insult wrapped in a smoldering lie. "That's okay," said Ben, the way someone might say, "What's that awful smell?" when a wet goat walks into the room. "Look," said Ben's mom, bending down and offering Dumbles a pancake. "Dumby likes them." Dumbles took one sniff of the not a pancake and fled into the living room. "Good boy," said Ben's dad, who had once read in a magazine that it was unhealthy for dogs to eat human food. "How about you, Ken?" asked Ben's mom. "You know, I just remembered that we're having a special breakfast at work today. Martha is bringing muffins. But you don't like muffins. Maybe today is the day I finally will. I always tell Ben to keep an open mind." Ben's dad was a terrible liar. Saying anything but the truth made him sweaty and cross-eyed. Ben's mom made a face that said, "I wish you could see how sweaty and cross-eyed you look." "I could have maybe just one of these pancakes without ruining my appetite," Ben's dad offered. "It would be my pleasure to serve you one," said Ben's mom, placing 3 singed wafers of unparalleled sadness on his plate. Usually, Ben's dad made breakfast, and dinner, and lunch on the weekends, because he was just so much better at cooking. For her part, Ben's mom changed the oil in the car and used the chainsaw to lop off suspicious-looking tree limbs. But Ben's mom was trying to learn how to cook, so they had started Monday Meals with Mom. The idea had seemed so great before the actual cooking began. Ben had even made a sign. He now regretted the exclamation point. Ben's dad picked up his fork and knife and cut a bite so small it wouldn't have made a hungry hamster happy. "I guess the rest of these delicious pancakes are all for you, Ben," said his mom, sliding 6 discs of blackened apocalypse onto his plate. Ben panicked. It was a family rule that you had to eat everything on your plate, whether you liked it or not. He reached down into the center of his misery and came back with an idea. "What about you, Mom? It wouldn't be right to take all these pancakes for myself. I insist you have at least 4. "I'm on a diet," she snapped. "You are?" This was news to Ben. He had seen her eat a full rack of ribs the night before. "But why?" asked Ben's dad. "Health," said Ben's mom, with the frosty resolve of a snow-capped Himalaya. Ben's mom was an excellent liar. Ben looked at his dad looked at Ben, they both looked at Ben's mom, wide-eyed, like someone who has just read the first chapter of a thrilling mystery and is desperate to know how it ends. "Nora is on a special diet where she eats nothing but ground beef and bananas," Ben's mom continued. "I've decided to try it." Nora was Ben's aunt. Ben liked Nora a lot, but Ben's mom usually rolled her eyes at the things Nora did, said, wore, and ate. Never in her whole life had Ben's mom done something just because Aunt Nora did. "Well, why don't you grab a banana and join us?" Ben's dad suggested, patting the placemat beside him. But the fruit bowl was empty. "I ate my bananas before you guys got up," said Ben's mom, with the look that was ever so slightly cross-eyed.